Greetings all, it's the Devious Monkey here. Okay, lots of advances today in the studio. I have been playing around with this setup for the past few days, including changing the lenses around on the camera, changing all of the audio, and changing the power that goes to this stand. I did not like having to have that gigantic V-mount, or actually it wasn't even a V-mount battery, it's a gold mount battery, because that's what I went with at first years ago. So I've got the plate and the rails and all that shit for a gold mount system. It's gigantic, and I hated having that battery plugged in. They freak me out. But now, the way I have this done is that I have a cord running over to the stand that's plugged directly into the wall socket, not into another power strip or surge suppressor, any of that shit. Goes in, I have that all cinched down on the leg and the center post of the stand itself, and then I have everything plugged into that. So the lights plugged into it, the monitor theoretically plugged into it, the camera plugged into it, and the audio, which I'm now using the Hollyland wireless system plugged into there. The reason I didn't want to go wireless is because I didn't want to have to keep, like charging everything, but I've eliminated that by running power to it. Now, yesterday when I had this all hooked up with the gold mount battery and all that kind of shit, and I had it plugged directly into that, I was getting electronic noise. And I could see on the camera that the meter was like all the way over to the side, but on the mic, it wasn't. It was normal. And it turns out that having it plugged into all that stuff with the lights and the gold mount and this, that, and the other thing, I don't know. I don't want to claim to understand electricity, but it was pumping electric noise into the camera. So when I went back and listened to the footage, it was going over everything. I was like, ah, shit. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just unplug the wireless receiver because I don't need to have it plugged in all the time. When it needs juice, I can plug it in and just leave it, for maybe an hour and it'll be charged up. So I'm not worried about that. But last night, in one of my sleepless fits, I was like, okay, what can I do? I got to change this. I've got cables running everywhere and power strips and all that shit. Now I just have the one cable coming over to the strip and it powers everything and I'm good to go. And then I've recorded so many times I forget, but over here right next to me, I used to have this lamp that was plugged in and I had the Zhun light basically clamped off to that. Well, it was wobbly as I was moving stuff around, and it turns out there's some kind of and I've never seen this before, but there was like some kind of cementy shit that was the base, like underneath the metal at the bottom of the base, or the base, whatever, and I took the glass part off top, and then I tipped it over, and I started tightening that nut, which was loose, and all of a sudden, it just exploded. It disintegrated. The entire cement structure just like crumbled. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, how does that even happen? I guess it's because it was just so old, it just disintegrated. So there was cement and shit crumbled all over the floor. So that takes care of that lamp. That was destroyed. So I unscrewed everything, cut the wire in pieces, took it down in the garage, and I'm throwing it away. Then I had to pick up all that fucking cement and vacuum, and I ended up just vacuuming the entire room, so it's a little bit cleaner. Because I didn't have the lamp, I was like, well, what the hell am I going to do with this Zhun light? Well, I put it onto one of the brackets up there that I was using for like a curtain rod over that TV. When I first got that 65-inch TV, I used it as a window, and I put curtains over it and then put a scene running on it that made it look like you were looking out a window instead of looking at a 65-inch TV. But I don't do that anymore, so I just plugged it in up there, and I'm good to go. Then I have this other Yomanzi little itty-bitty light there with the blue on that side, and it's on an Insta360 selfie stick. And I'm going to show you all this stuff here in a minute. I'm going to switch over to the FX30. Now that's the other thing, is that I had all like different lenses and all that kind of stuff, and I was like, okay, how am I going to do this? What do I want to do? Blah, 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 blah. I ended up remembering in one of those sleepless epiphanies that I have had this past week that I have a Sony 16 to 50, is that what that is? It's a 16 to 50 kit lens. I don't need to have f1.4 because I did have the Sony 15mm f1.4 G lens hooked up to the camera in here. And I'm like, well, I don't need that. I don't need f1.4 in the studio. I'm probably going to put it at like f4. So this is like 3.5 to 5.6. I've got it at 16 millimeters right now. So here's the layout. In the studio, and this is never going anywhere. This is going to stay right here, especially now that I've got it all taped and cinched down and Velcroed and all that shit. I've got an A6700 with a 16 to 50 kit lens with the Hollyland wireless mic system plugged into that. My Falconized LED panel, it's like a soft panel that's got a softbox and a grid on it, and it's all powered, and you'll see it. It's all powered right there, and then I've got this Viltrox 7-inch monitor that's sitting right below the lens, and it's out of the way enough. Now, I inadvertently, you know, like I paired this little remote to it. I must have hit a button and didn't realize it, but I keep forgetting that I've got smart, what do you call it, clear image zoom on here. So now I can zoom. Scary, huh? Let's back that out. I don't want that much of my face in here. So I can back this out, you know, to wherever I want to. If I want a little bit more intimate where we come in, or I can go all the way out to 60. So this is basically 16, and that's 50. So the world is my oyster. I can zoom this out, zoom it in a little bit, like right to there, and I'm still in frame and all that stuff, and rule of thirds, whoop-de-doo, and all that shit. But I mean, I'm probably going to keep it here. That was just a happy accident that I pushed that and I realized I could do it. So that's that. And not only by eliminating the table and the tree and all of the bags and all of the this, that's, and the other things that were sitting in here, and cleaning this frickin' space out, and then breaking the lamp, and now I just have 2 bags there. My pneumatic Peter McKinnon like 35-liter bag, and it's the only bag that I use. And then I have a small little North End mini backpack that I have all of the Mini 4 drone stuff in. And then down over here is all of the portable, like the Canon selfie portable printer and the paper and all that shit, and a couple of tripods right back there. That's it. That's all that's in here. Everything is cleaned off. So that is my studio setup. Then I have my FX30, and I put the 15 millimeter Sony back on that one, and I'm using the DJI Mic 2 for that. That's good to go. Then I have another A6700 that I will use back and forth to either film when I'm out birding, or I can take pictures with it if I really want to. So if I only have one camera, that'd be the camera that I would use for everything. And then I have my A7R5, which is going to be my main stills picture camera. And most of the time it's going to have the 500 millimeter Sigma on it. And then I've got the Action 3, Action 4, although the Action 3, I don't use it that much. I did use it to do the time lapse of the snow, but I use my Action 4, and then I have the Pocket 3. And that's it. And everything is basically running off of DJI wireless mics, except for this studio one where I'm using the Hollyland wireless mic. And that is the Monkey's setup for stills and video, and we're good to go. So I'm going to switch now to the FX30, turn all the lights on in here so that you can see what I'm talking about, what I'm doing here. So this is all clean over here. It's all battery related charging stuff. That's where I set all my other shit down to, you know, stuff that I carry daily, blah, blah, blah. That's the humidifier, or like the humidity controlled cabinet. Has all my lenses and what cameras I'm not touching at the time. Now here's that bracket that I ended up sticking that Zhun light to, and I just have it hanging there on a clamp and a smart, what do you call it, a small rig magical arm, and power goes down into that power strip. Now here is the mobile stand, and you can see I have the extension cord come around the backside, goes over there to a single power strip. Everything is plugged into it. And that's the view from this side. Now, if you're taking a look at this, you can see that all of the weight is on that side. So I had to put that series of sandbags on that back leg to keep it from tipping over. Now, right now I just have them sitting there and it works, but I'm probably going to use some like a Velcro strap and strap that on there really good. And I might even put the other 2 sandbags on it as well. So here's all the shit behind here. And remember, you don't daisy chain surge suppressors. That's bad. That's not good. There's the other Aperture MC. And then because I broke that lamp, I ended up sticking a colored hue bulb in there so I can change the colors on that. And there's that little Ulanzi light. And then all my magical drawers are all clean and they've got everything in it that they need to have in it. And right there, I'm setting the slider and my monopod that I use. And then for shits and giggles, here's where this is the side that I consider the office side of my room. And this is where all the magic happens. So I got my Mac Mini that's hooked up to this one, my day job work laptop connected to that one, and then that's my editing station right there. And you can see how I have all this stuff Velcroed on here and run the way it's supposed to be run. And now here's my view as I'm looking. And what I did was I put down, I know it's all ghetto because I just duct taped a couple of furniture pads down there, the rubber pads, but that's just so that I know exactly where I need to put that stand, you know, so that I don't have to like, okay, how do I move this thing now? Where did I put it? How far away does it go? So now I've got, you know, all the little rubber things duct taped down there. You can't see it, but the other one is back there, obviously. And again, everything is Velcroed off. All the wires are like wrapped up so that nothing is just like egregiously hanging and trippy. And that's as far as it goes. And I've got plenty of extra cable that goes around the chair. And then there you go. And that's the Monkey's studio setup. Okay, so there you see it. That's pretty much it. I have been working on this all week. Given that I didn't have to go out because of the snow, that was a whole other thing that I had to deal with. It was like 50-something degrees out today. Everything is melting super quick. By Tuesday, it's going to be in the 60s, like mid-60s. So most of the snow should definitely be gone by the end of this coming week. Thank Zeus, because I freaking hate it. I'm going to be on the road this week, for sure. No snowstorms. There's not going to be a video for a while. I have pretty much made up my mind that I'm not going to try to lug all this equipment with me and take all my assets and put them on a drive and try to sit there at the end of the day after driving for 12 hours and having meetings and all that shit, trying to put a video together to put out. Not going to happen. I will probably, and I hate doing them, but I know I should do them because they're not that difficult, but I may do shorts. But I'm going to be on the road Tuesday through Thursday. I won't be back until like Thursday early afternoon. And then we'll see what other crazy shit we can get into. But that's pretty much been my week. Snow, day job, and doing all of this. I definitely took the time of being home and used it to my advantage to do all the shit that I've been telling myself I needed to do. But I'm really happy with the way things are shaping up. Okay. Not going to blather on anymore. I just wanted to give you a quick update. Again, I know there's like, oh God, another studio thing, but you know, I just wanted some closure there to let you know that everything now is set up in this studio and it's done. Definitely done now. Now that the snow is going to be melting and I have some time, theoretically, I need to get back out in the wild. The monkey needs to get back out in the wild and start putting Monkey in the Wild videos up. There's not much more to tell you. I'm hungry. I got to start laundry. I got to start my office day. I have a lot to do today and tomorrow. The more I do today, the less I have to do tomorrow. Enough blathering. You know how I go. I don't shut up. So that's all you get for today. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, leave them down below. As always, thanks for joining me. Be sure to like and subscribe. And remember, kids, forward and up.